Chapter 870. All at once, a thunder dragon burning brightly with inscription-filled spirit flames shot out to meet the golden inferno. Inscriptions? Herman cried out in shock. The thunder dragon crushed the inferno, striking Herman in the chest. He let out a cry of agony, falling from mid-air. The holy warriors below scrambled to catch his body, but Herman was already as pale as a sheet and spitting out blood profusely. He had been fatally wounded by just one blow. This attack, however, had also led the crowd finally see their godly emperor. Wilbur took his thunder cleaver as soon as he landed, zipping around the 20 holy warriors in a circle. He returned to where he had been standing after that, putting the cleaver away. The holy warriors let out cries of agony. Each of them had one of their hands chopped clean off. It had happened so suddenly, too. A super sanctuary level archbishop and 20 ambience level holy warriors had been heavily wounded and incapacitated. The crowd of believers erupted into a sea of cheers. There was no doubt that their godly emperor was indeed the reincarnation of the Fire Dragon Lord, and he was unbeatable. Wilbur walked up to Herman. "Do you know why you're still alive?" Herman's chest heaved as he lay on the ground in terror. He had not expected someone so powerful to be behind a church this small. Herman had thought he might be able to get rid of this little cult and use it to gain favor with the Pope so that he would be transferred out of this dump of a place, only to be beaten to an inch of his life. He would never have dared to come here if he knew what was in store for him. "Please, sir, let's talk about this. I think it could just be a misunderstanding," Herman said shakily. Wilbur smirked. "A misunderstanding? You came looking for trouble on purpose. But now you're calling it a misunderstanding. Do you think I'm stupid?" "I'm sorry, sir. Please forgive me." Herman had finally gotten off his high horse, lowering his head in Wilbur's powerful presence. "The only reason you aren't dead is because I don't want to bump heads with the Church of Holy Illuminati. Now take this as a warning to your church and get lost. If anyone else dares to challenge the Church of the Fire Dragon Lord, I won't hesitate to kill that Pope of yours," Wilbur said coolly. Herman was scared out of his wits, not daring to retaliate in the slightest in the face of Wilbur's threats. "I understand, sir. I'll be on my way now. And I promise never to come back here nor start any trouble with the Church of the Fire Dragon Lord." "Get lost," Wilbur shouted. Herman struggled to his feet, fleeing the scene with his holy warriors. Pride did not matter anymore in the face of someone as terrifyingly powerful as Wilbur. That did not matter if he was dead. The crowd surged forward at the sight of Herman and the rest leaving, erupting into cheers as they surrounded Wilbur. There were believers who had gotten on their knees, praying to Wilbur profusely. Wilbur smiled, coming up to Carl. "Are you all right?" "It's no big deal. I'll be better with some rest," said Carl. Wilbur nodded. Dawson and Cameron hurried to bow to Wilbur. To them, their godly emperor now seemed all the more powerful. Wilbur nodded in acknowledgement. Just then, Carl looked over at Groot. Groot had run off at full speed, returning in no time with a tray. On the tray was a robe with a crown on it. The crown was made of pure gold and looked like a flaming golden dragon curled up. There was a red gem on the dragon's forehead, emitting a fiery glow. Groot came up to Wilbur, handing him the robe and crown with both hands. Just then, Carl said, "Sir, we've been discussing it for the past few days and agreed that it's time to crown you as Pope." Everyone got to their knees, shouting, "Please do us the honor of becoming Pope, honorable godly emperor." As Wilbur took in the sight of the kneeling believers, an energy he had never experienced before appeared in his spiritual furnace.